This podcast is sponsored by CDO Group, the industry leader providing a full range of construction and project management services. CDO Group has managed thousands of projects in all 50 states. Their group of experts provides systems, processes, and procedures to make sure that your projects turn over on time and on budget every single time. With over 24 years of experience, CDO Group is the industry's leader in construction management and general contracting services. To find them, go to cdogroup.com. Hi, and welcome to the Future of Development podcast. My name's Anthony Amunategui, and I'm here to inspire people to find amazing careers in the construction development world. If you like our podcast, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. If you really like our podcast, make sure you hit the little bell. Hi, and welcome to the Future of Development podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Amunategui, and today I'm joined by those amazing folks over at Trimble. They're breaking through again with some great new technology. We've got Nathan Patton on with the new XR10 with Hololens glasses that give you the ability to look at a job site live and in 3D. This augmented reality really gives them a new perspective on the construction industry. We're so excited to have them on the show again. With that, let's welcome Nathan. Nathan, welcome to the show. I'm excited about having you on. It's anything that Trimble is doing. Every time you guys have something new, it tickles my insides to watch it. And this one is no different. This product is amazing. It's got a way to see construction in a way I've always wanted to see this, taking plans and bringing it into the world. Nathan, I'm excited about having you on the show. Welcome.
Awesome. Yeah. So excited to be on the show. Thanks for taking the time. Really excited to talk about what we got going on in mixed reality and here at Trimble.
As Trimble continues to innovate the most innovative products for the construction world, having Spot the robotic dog out here and having, talking about those products. And now you've got a way to take plans and wear them as you see the job site and the plans, and be inside of a 3D BIM model while you're in and on the job site, right? How did that all come into play?
Yeah, so we've got this new product that we just announced called FieldLink MR, and it's kind of taking that mixed reality piece, like you said, the visual context, and then adding it to our layout instruments. So really precise, accurate instruments that kind of guide you around the job site to lay out information to build on. And so, there's this big problem with layout as it is today. You're trying to find these really accurate positions on that job site, but, trying to navigate around with a 2D tablet with a total station that's telling you to move, 3 feet one way and 2 feet another way. You kind of do this dance and you're shuffling around and sidestepping and trying to figure out where that point is. And so that takes a lot of time when you've got hundreds of points or thousands of points on a job. It can take quite a bit of time. So, the benefits of mixed reality, seeing that data all around you, you just see where that point is now. You just walk straight up to it.
For the audience, what we're going to do is I'm going to attach a link down below, and you guys are going to see this. It's amazing, right? So as you're looking through your glasses, right, you're looking through your goggles, and you're seeing that point on the ground, just like just like you were there, like it was there on the ground. And as you put a piece of material there to mark it, or you're doing your layout, you're seeing it in the exact location, right? And I think that's the part that's revolutionary. It's, before, like you said, you did that dance as a surveyor. You're kind of shuffle to the right, a little right, just a little hair, and then you and the other guy on the other end have this kind of like, little bit of a signal to get to each other to get the dance, and that just takes, it's very time consuming. Now you're wearing the gear, you're seeing the point, you find the exact location, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you nailed it. And, in my time when I was in the construction industry, I was doing this exact job, right? I was the guy doing the dance, and my salsa skills were never very good. So it always took me quite a bit of time. And, that adds up, right? 5 minutes a point, something like that. It's hours in a day that it's taking you. So if you can just see it, it's like going from a paper map to now having turn-by-turn directions. It's just so much easier.
So much easier. And now the setting up the transom, setting up the whole system. Now let's kind of back up a little bit and figure out how does the information transfer into the headset. So let's talk about the headset itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So the headset is the Trimble XR10 with Hololens 2. So we've got a partnership with Microsoft that actually makes this mixed reality hardware. And we kind of took it and said, how do we apply this to the construction industry, right? You can't just take a headset or a VR headset for sure onto a job site, right? There's safety concerns. There's things you got to think of. So we've partnered with Microsoft for 7+ years at this point to kind of retrofit that solution and make it safe for construction. Right. So we're certified by OSHA, 57 or more countries. And so that allows you to then take your data that you're creating, these 3D models or even 2D models, and then actually visualize what that data looks like as if it were already there in the real world. And you're fully immersed in that.
The helmet itself, the XR10, is a hard hat, right? It's a hard hat with a lens that flips up and down, right? So you can have it up and out of your way, but you can also flip it down, and now you're seeing through transparent glasses. You're seeing the 3D BIM model, and you're seeing the space. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the benefit here of mixed reality, right? So we've got this hard hat, we've got these glasses that you can see through in order to see that data, but now you've got that digital data physically immersed around you. So it's not like, virtual reality, which for example is completely everything is digital. Everything is virtual. There's no real life element there. Right.
So virtually, you're in the box, right? You're outside of reality. There's no other reality. You're in. It's completely devoid of the space that you're actually in. You're in an ulterior space.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. And so that can be kind of dangerous, to take onto a construction site. Can't see everything around you. It's good for design. It's got its use cases for sure. But it's not meant for that construction environment necessarily. You got to see the other factors coming in. The beauty here of mixed reality is that you're seeing that digital data immersed fully in that real world. So you see both the real world and this digital world as if they're truly, intermingling together, right? That it's all one environment now.
So you're seeing the BIM model and you can still pick up a pencil.
Yeah, 100%. You can still, in the construction environment, you can still see pipes on the ground. You can still see cables that are, you're going to trip on. So you got to walk over them, right? You can still see all of that information. The guy on the boom that's heading over, and you got to get out of his way because he's got stuff to do. But you can still see all of that plus all of your data. So, it's that safety element while also still getting the benefit of all that data.
I think that's the most unique part. This is the part that everybody's been waiting for, right? The ability to put this on. Now, I'm a field guy. I'm out in the field. I grew up in the field. I came from the field. I got a lot of being out in the field. The first time. I remember we asked people to bring, put fax machines. I don't know if you even know what a fax machine is. We had fax machines. There was like this printer that you would telephone into a printer and it would print out something for you. And it was, we thought we were revolutionary, and we required our subcontractors to have it so we could get instant updates from architects and they could fax that over. And that was a process, right? So you draw a little drawing, you could fax it over to them and they could fax it back. And then digital pictures came around and we could communicate digital pictures, but they were heavier than heck to email back and forth from a job site because you didn't have that great of a connection. And then, we started to get, we said, hey, we need you guys to have laptops. Right? Laptops, where people are like, ooh, but we're on a construction site. They're going to get ruined. These guys aren't going to do it. But then that happened, and now every single person on the job site has a computer device, either a phone or a pad or a tablet, and they're construction ready, right? And now we're transitioning into wearable gear that you're now wearing the helmet, the hard hat, and you're being able to flip down a set of visual aids, goggles, and now you're transferring that information while you're walking around in real time.
Yeah, exactly. I think you did a great job there. That technology has advanced and grown, but the underlying problem that needs to be solved is still there. Right? The underlying workflow or the underlying task that you're trying to do on that construction site is still there. I still need to, check that design and see if it's going to fit the real world. I need to check what progress has been made against where we should be, right? All of those tasks and those problems still exist, but technology has just, continued to evolve. So you built it up beautifully. And I think mixed reality is just that next step. And the way that we've approached mixed reality at Trimble is with that in mind, that we're not changing or giving you new tasks to do. We're just saying, what's that problem? What's that thing that you're trying to do? And then how does mixed reality help you to do that better, quicker, more efficient?
Yeah, I mean, what's great about Trimble is that you take this technology, which, for a lot of stakes, people take it like something you do inside, right? Those guys, those .com guys don't get dirty. Those .com people don't get, they're all over there in their pretty little offices, right? But we're out in the field. We got mud and dirt and stuff coming at us 100 miles an hour, and things are moving. You're having lunch on a job. There's a lot of stuff going on, and our gear needs to match what we're doing. And Trimble does a great job of building gear that's built for the job site, right? It's sturdy, it's strong, it's safe. It takes into consideration all the OSHA requirements we need to have for it to be functional on a job site.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, if you can't take it on a job site, if you can't use it, doesn't mean anything anymore. So we're always trying to take that customer element in mind and keep that at the heart of what we're doing, right? It doesn't matter if we go build some cool, fancy piece of technology if it doesn't solve a problem or if it doesn't fit on a job site.
All right, so now I got Eric, our producer. Hey, Eric, you out there? I take Eric and I put him on a job site out in the middle of a downtown ABC place, and he's out there, and I say, Eric, we got to set up the system. So let's start with, how are we setting up the XR10 to be able to broadcast the information that I need?
Yeah, so in mixed reality today, you would simply have that digital data already created from your engineer, from your designer, your architect, and you would upload that to what's called Trimble Connect.
All right, so let me back up right there. So right now we're taking our BIM model, right? We're taking our BIM model, or we're taking our 3D drawings, and we're uploading that into Trimble Connect into a cloud-based a server, and I can pull that down from the job site. So I'm uploading it from the office to the server. Is that kind of the?
Yeah, exactly. So Trimble Connect is like a cloud collaboration platform. So you can upload data and you can act on revisions and to-dos and all that kind of stuff. It's like a living, breathing organism of what's going on that job site, right? Kind of trying to provide that single source of truth so that the contractor, the designer, the stakeholder can all look at the same data at the same place.
That's the word we're looking at, that single source of truth. Now, in our business, a lot of times the single source of truth is the guy that's giving the truth, like, this is the truth because I'm giving it. Having one spot where all communicating and looking at the same information simultaneously, like being able to look, taking the 3D rendering, right, using the 3D model and using that to be able to design in, right, to be able to look at that, right. We had someone on the podcast the other day that talked about how many millions of dollars get saved every year by creating these 3D models, because now I can see the interaction, the crossover connection issues, the interaction of the space before I ever start moving a hammer or a bulldozer. Exactly.
And so that kind of ties in exactly the next step here, is taking that data and putting it onto the job site. So you've got the XR10, right? Eric's out on his job site. He's got the XR10 now. He's got that data on this cloud platform, and he's able to now look at that data fully immersed in his job site. So he can see exactly where the steel beams are going to go up. He can see where the HVAC system is going to run. He can see the electrical, the plumbing, all of those systems. He can see that data in the true environment. And so just like you said, the benefit now, you can see what data needs to change, what doesn't fit, or you can see that schedule and how it's going to progress.
Got it. So now let's just get. So now Eric walks out. I saw the video. You open up the thing. You pull the helmet out. Put the helmet on. You set up your tripod. Now you've got the XR. Now you got to put the field link together.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the field link and how all that gets set up.
Yeah. So you're using what's called a total station, or a robotic total station. Yep. And so that essentially is just really accurately measuring distances and angles. Right. So it'll shoot a laser, get a distance, and it'll know what the angle is. And from that, you can mathematically tell where you are in reference to this model. So you set it up on your tripod, and you're going to go and observe a couple of what we call control points. And that's just a point that you have physically on the job site where you know where it is. Might be a paint mark, might be a piece of rebar that's jammed in the ground, but it's somewhere that you know where it is. And then you also know where that is digitally in the model. So by taking an observation on that point, you know where it is in the real world. you know where it is in the digital world. And then mathematically, you're able to say, okay, now I know where the total station, where this robot is in reference to the model.
Got it. So now my total station, I've now got its bearing points, right? I've now created datum points, or however you. We've now got a predictable the point that matches my plans, and now I look at it and go, all right, we set that, we get that situated, and now it's able to communicate from there an exact location that's known both physically and digitally, and from there, what do we do next?
So in that exact same workflow at the same time, you're also doing the same thing for the XR10. So all in one workflow, you'll walk to 3 or more control points that you might have on the job site. And by doing that, the total station knows where it is, and the XR10 knows where it is. So at the end of that process, you have a really accurate position for this total station. You have a really accurate position for this XR10. So you get the model, all of your data fully aligned, one-to-one scale as if it were real and right out there, plus your total station knows where it is. So you can start to go and actually lay out where that information needs to go in the real world to within a quarter of an inch or a 16th of an inch.
That's awesome. So now you've got the XR10 knows where it's at. I can see it. Now I can flip it up, and I can be in the real world with no information transfer, but I flip it down. Now, do I run that all day long? Is that something you envision people using all day long throughout their day? They've got this ability, or is this something you do just at layout? Talk to me about how you see this being used.
You can use it in a ton of different ways, right? When you're doing layout, you're going to be able to be a lot more efficient because you can see exactly where those points are. You don't have to save the time learning how to do the cha-cha. So you're able to save that time in your layout. So maybe what would take you 6 hours might take you 5 hours or 4 hours, right? You might save some time there. So maybe you don't use mixed reality for your layout all the time, all day long, but you can use it to go and get, a lot of dense points laid out all at once, or some really complex information. Like if you've got pipe work and there's a lot of bends and curves and offsets, and it's really hard to visualize what you're actually trying to do there if you're just using a two-dimensional tablet, right? So
what's even worse is you're visualizing it one way, and you're the pipe fitter and you're visualizing, but then the tin knockers come in and they're visualizing it another way. They don't see it the way you see it, and then having that integration between the two different disciplines and being able to see that, I think there's a big benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're visualizing all that information, and you're able to go and be a lot quicker, more efficient there. But then you can also be using it to visualize and see how that data actually fits on the job site, right? Maybe you're finding out that, my HVAC system has been designed to go straight across this room, but, the designer didn't realize that there's actually a service door at the end of that hall, and, this system's going to clash and interfere with it. So now you can get ahead and say, hey, this design needs to be updated. So all of these other designs that go alongside it, the electrical, the piping, all of that kind of stuff that's supposed to run parallel, it all needs to be updated too. You can do that weeks and months ahead of when it's supposed to be prefabricated, right? So you're not consuming those extra materials.
Nice.
You can, do it before it's supposed to be scheduled to be installed, so you're not wasting time later, right? So the efficiency gain there of visualizing that data, it just is a ripple effect and adds up because it's every subcontractor and contractor beyond that one thing, right?
Well, I think it works. It translates from the time I start, the design and communication with the customer, right? Being able to have a 3D model really helps me create a clarity and vision and something that they can't see in 2D, no matter how, even renderings don't do it enough justice, right? Being able to be in a 3D model and feeling that, and then translating that to the field where I can see my interactions between materials and disciplines, and then really being able to spell out. Now take me into the field where I start to look at it and go, all right, look, hey guys, I need you to do this section, right? How do I can start to envision, as a project manager, the team being able to go into the 3D model and seeing, when we paint the picture of what we want done. It's not this like I need you to work on the north wall, ductwork over here. And then I got to translate what that means to my group and today. I can now look at it in a much, much different way. Inside that model, start to really visualize where I'm going to stack my material, how I'm going to get to the job site. All those kind of neat interactions that wouldn't happen without going into this 3D world.
Yeah, absolutely. And, today with mixed reality, you can kind of do that collaboration where, me and Eric say we both have an XR10. We can slap it on, and he's in his office, in Atlanta, and I'm in my office up in Canada because that's where I'm from. I'm looking at the model and he's looking at the model, both in two completely different places, but we can visualize it as if we're right there together with a 3D, mock-up, right, from anywhere in the world.
Here, I love that. That to me is where we're both looking at it, not at different times. We're both in there. Now, let me ask you, we start to see things and we want to put notes in there. When I'm in the model, when I'm in the area, how do I communicate to the other team members?
So what you can do is straight from that model, if you see something that needs to be changed, or you have a question about, hey, why was this designed this way? Or, things got to change, our schedule's moving, whatever the case might be. You can assign what we call a to-do, which is really just an action item for somebody to go and have to accomplish and update or, provide some information on. And you can, right in the model, in fully immersive, when you're on the job site, you can tag that pipe that needs to move. And I can tag the designer back in his office, half a country away, and say, hey, this needs to get updated. And he'll see exactly what I'm seeing. I can take a photo of the digital model overlaid on the real world, and he'll get that notification in his inbox. All of the stakeholders on the project, the designers, the contractors, the subs, the owners, everybody can see that track of, hey, where are we at with our progress? Where are we at with these things that need to be updated, right? So it's kind of coming back to that single source of truth on the job site. And then, my designer in his office can get that notification, update it, push a revision to the cloud, and we all see the change history. And then I say, oh yeah, this is good to go. Or maybe he needs some more information. Maybe he needs to understand a little bit better what's going on. So he can call me while I'm in the field. And just like you and I are, on a call right now, I can see you, you can see me. It'd be the same thing, but you can actually see my first person view of the data. So it's like you're there with me, looking at the data overlaid on the real job site. So now, that gives you the opportunity to have maybe an expert in one place in his office, his or her office, helping out, anybody that's on a job site around the world, really, and being able to now leverage that expertise to so many different jobs, right?
That's the fun part, right? By the way, we're in the field. We don't call them experts, right? Because they're the guys who cause the problem. We're the experts out in the field. Those guys back in the office, they're pencil drawers. No, I'm kidding. There's always that fun game we play back and forth between the field and the office. But what it does is it really does bring the team together. And that's what's really exciting. When I see this, I now see a much brighter future for, trying to roll out plans in a 2D model. Look, that got us to where we are today. Great. And we've built amazing buildings and done projects that are phenomenal throughout our history. And the construction industry today is one of the brightest things we have going on is we build amazing buildings and structures. And as we start to build smarter and translate ideas quicker and easier and start to paint the picture for the teams that are on it clearer, I believe what happens is now we get, one, we all have a better stake in it, but two, we all end up making a lot more money, right? Because we don't have all of this waste, we don't have all of this delay, all this, most of the problems we have on a job site, to me, I look at a job site as we run them as little tiny battlefronts, right? All right, I'm gonna move that forward, but we're stuck, we don't have an answer. I'm gonna move this one forward over here, but we're waiting for this. Oh, this material's waiting, so I'll get to here, but I can't. And that interacts, there's so many different battlefronts that we're trying to push forward. Anytime I can push that forward faster, right? I move our progress in that same direction.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And when we say it giving that data, giving that access to more people builds in their stake and their accountability almost into that project. right? With FieldLink MR, what I'm stoked about is the fact that we're giving data to the field layout guys, the guys who are on the job site, the guys and girls who are on the job site every single day, right? It's another person that's now involved in that process and is able to feel like they're collaborating and building that kind of community in that job site and in that environment, right? And then everybody can be accountable for finding these, these scheduling delays or finding these things that need to change, right? And it makes everybody's job easier too. It's not just about saving money. I mean, that's great. That's really what we want to provide is value and save money. But it's also like, if you can have more enjoyment or an easier way of doing your job, it's going to help you, right? So, as when I'm doing my layout and I can see where the points are, yeah, it makes me faster, but it also makes me more confident, makes the job easier on me. I don't have to spend as much mental thought of translating this data and hoping I'm getting it right. And, oh man, am I getting rushed? Am I slowing things down? How's the scheduling being affected, right? Gives you that a little bit more confidence and context of what you're doing. And then, yeah, all right, once you get that, yes, the efficiencies are there, the productivity, the benefits to the owners and to the companies, and we all make more money, 100%.
Well,
right?
and I'm not going to lie, I love toys. I'm not gonna lie. I love the cool toys. I got the cool. I love the toys. I love being able to see it. But not just to being a toy and cooler than all get out because of the information I can get. It's different to look at. When you're doing a layout, you get these points, and the reference to what the point is. Someone creates a point cloud for you to go on and mark up to do a survey, and now you have all these points that are out there. But now to really see what that is, that's a curb line, or that's a pipe chase, or that's a spot that we're gonna put some, really be able to see what that is in a much different point of view and see the point, right? You're seeing the point in perfection, in real perfect accuracy. But sometimes what gets missed at a point is the relationship to things above it or around it. And sometimes when I look at it, I go, all right, I'm going to put that there, but I might want to think about how I'm going to get, I'm putting that boiler right there. But I might want to think about how that boiler is going to get in and out every period of time I need to go back in there and service it, right? So it gives the people that are installing it a say, and you're pulling on their knowledge of the long-term effects of the decisions we're making in the field, in a much different way than ever before, right? It now brings their field expertise about the products that we're doing, and not just the, oftentimes we can't see that effect in the office, right? The folks in the office can't often see the interaction between a long-term effect of placement of something, or servicing of something, or accessibility to something that we're building.
Yeah, I had an awesome conversation this morning with somebody who's actually in the beta program, testing it out right now. And they were out using it on a job site to do layout. And with the model overlaid, he could see that, oh, hey, this pipe rack runs here, but there's actually something in the way. I can't lay that point out right where it needs to be. So I can do an offset, knowing that other things are being installed, knowing that, this is going to come next. And if I put it here, it's actually going to get wiped out. So if I put it over here, it'll last longer and I won't have to come and redo that work. Right? That's exactly what you're talking about. Nathan, already right there.
Right. Taking the knowledge of the people who are doing it. Look, the architect and engineers they've got a great value to the job site, but there's also something to be said about the where the rubber meets the road. The field tech, the person, the field engineer that's doing the work on there, being able to look at it from their point of view of the reality of it. Right? The real on paper it looks one way, in a 3D model maybe look another way, but looking at the tech and the person that's doing the work, now they've got a whole another way of seeing it, because now I'm seeing, I'm flipping this down and I can see what goes there. When I watch this video, I was like, oh my God, right? This is Star Trek. This is like, the stuff that the hologram that we tell, in Star Trek, and you can really see how Trimble, you've done it again. You guys have done what the industry is asking for and begging for and thirsty for, right? You guys are doing that stuff that's changing the construction world, and I love how that happens. Now, I want to go back, because I know that I get all excited about the product. And I watched the video of it, and I got Eric set up to go out in the field, and we've got him out there now, and he's got the product on. I want to get people really in what it takes to get this in their field, right? I mean, people are going to want this. They're going to watch this video, go, I want that. How do they, Nathan? How do they get this?
Yeah, so it'll be available in the next half of this year, and you're going to be able to take that data, just like we've kind of described that workflow, right? It's going to work with the existing data that you're creating. It's going to work with the existing total stations that you've got. You just need to get into mixed reality, and then you're going to have all the tools that you need right there. And so we'll have more information to come on that. But in terms of the actual workflow of being able to use it, it's as simple as taking what you're doing today and just putting it on a Hololens, putting it on the XR10. It's the same workflow. It's the same process. Like I said at the top, it's the same task that you have to do. We're not changing the work that you're doing. We're just making it better and easier with mixed reality.
Also, look, this is in my day-to-day stuff that I'm doing now. I get that. But I also get that, like, if we're not doing this, we're going to get leapfrogged, right? We always think of ourselves as an advanced company. We take on technology, but getting into this and stepping into the next stuff, always kind of pushes my button. They walk in and go, "Hey, I want to try this on." I'm like, "Great, it's going to cost this much." Well, hold on, let me think about this. And then there's always a stop between cost but I know that every time I've taken a step, right, not knowing where the ground's going to be, right, not knowing that my foot's going to touch the ground of its value, it's always proven. The first time we had 3D cameras on a job site, the first time that we had, every super had iPads and all the electronic connections we have. Every time we've pushed the limits on making our field people have more access to smarter information, it's always paid off in speed to market and profitability.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I get it, right? And I think, coming from construction, I'm a skeptic by nature too. But the way that I look at it is, it's not just Trimble that's investing in mixed reality. It's not just us. Look at Facebook, right? They changed their whole name to Meta because they're buying in on mixed reality and virtual reality and all this stuff, right? So, I very much so see the future of construction is that mixed reality is going to be ubiquitous, right? In a lot of different ways.
Now you've hit my favorite subject, right? You've opened Pandora's box, and I'm sorry, but we're going to go down this quiz. Look, if they're not today thinking about the metaverse, if they're not, just what you talk, if we're not thinking about a digital twin in what we're doing, so it's great that we've all figured out how to go faster and build stuff, but if we're not building that digital twin today, we're going to have to go back and recreate tomorrow. Because it's just
100%.
Yeah.
The analogy that I like to go to, I'm a big analogy guy, very visual learner, and analogies really stick with me as well. It's like trying to jump into, if you wait to get into mixed reality or you wait to get into these digital technologies, even like Spot the Dog and all these different things, right? If you wait to get into that technology in 4 years, that's going to be like trying to jump into, graduate level physics when you didn't even take, pre-calculus back in high school, right? It's just not it's like trying to jump into something that's now grown and evolved and assumes that you have these, basic understandings, right? It's like, trying to teach your grandma how to use Facebook too, right? That's another one, right? It's so difficult to get in there when the product and everything is as complex as you want it to be, right? You got to get in and start to learn and start to shape and evolve with that technology. And, we're making these products to solve these problems, and we're working with our customers to make stuff that has value. But if you want to get in and find the value, you need to get in now and then provide that feedback too, right? It's going to be shaped by the people using it.
To make that big jump is tough, but if you start we started a software here at CDO Group, and the software they started was, look, all it did at first was manage time, right? People's hours and time, getting people what projects they were working on, the project management team, and then assigning it to a project. That was great. And then you added another feature, and then another feature, and then another feature, and every time those small incremental successes, right, in learning, make it so much more usable, right, to the folks. Now, look, there's always going to be people who come in later on, and they got to make the jump a little bit harder. And you hope that your training goes back and really shows them how to. Hey, this is how we have grace for them, because this is how we learned. We learned how to do this module first. and then we added another module, and let's learn how to do that module next. And just have grace for the folks that are trying to make that big leap. And, it's overwhelming. You've definitely heard of older people who have a hard time. A friend of mine who I've been trying to get on a Zoom meeting. It's a great friend of mine, but he's older and he can't go out with people because of COVID. And because of that, I don't get to spend time with him except for on a phone call. And I for 2 years now, I've been begging him to figure out how to do Zoom. I went so much I brought a computer to his house, set up screens, gave him a laptop and the screens, and then I left. And it just was such a mind block to the jump, right? He's intimidated by the whole thing. And you can have grace for people where, today we don't have that. This is happening so fast that it really behooves the construction companies and subcontractors that we work with, the brands that we work with, if they're going to be in this long term, taking the steps and jumping in and making the leap into technology now rather than waiting longer. Absolutely. And it's a collaboration, right? We recognize that not everybody is at that level, right? Not everybody is the number one on the ENR top 100, right? This mixed reality and these technologies aren't just for the big guys. They can be used on the small residential projects. They can be used on the smaller, one-offs and things like that. It doesn't need to be just these big players in the game, right? Mixed reality is definitely going to be growing and advancing, right? Like we said, and it's for all of those players, right? So what we want to do is have that collaboration and be able to build these products and keep that customer in mind. But we can only keep building it for more people and kind of help bring those people in, if we're getting that feedback too. No, it's great. And that's often, the subcontractors, they're always kind of plagued with, do I make this investment and jump into this? And then, getting a product and actively being part of its development, right? I've found out that if you're going to do technology, you've got to embrace it and you got to partner with the people that you're doing it with. The first time we got Matterport cameras, which was phenomenal, right? We brought Matterport in, our people got amazing training with it, but not just the first time. We continued to do it with them. We continued to work with them on those cameras and implementation of it and how we can communicate to our clients better. And the things that we did and the thousands of projects that we've done with Matterport today it's really amazing. Right now we've got, by the way, we now have all of those projects available to us as a digital file, right? We can go back and access that, not like some rolled up plans that are hidden behind a wall somewhere. Now we've got an actual digital file of that entire space that's different than ever before. And that's, one of my favorite things about coming to Trimble here is getting to know our technical team, or our technical support team. They're some of the best out in the world, and they just really care about making sure that customers are succeeding and you're able to not only get this technology, but then go and use it and get that value out of it, right? So it's a whole process of not just adopting the technology, but then finding the way to use it, right? And finding the way to make more people involved in that process. Well, and I think something else that goes along with it, get more people involved with the process. But also, look, we spend millions and millions of dollars every year developing information that we use for a portion of it. And then we end up taking all that and we forget all of that and we go to the next section of it, right? I mean, so we look at a piece of dirt and we do all the data collection on the dirt, the site, and all the utilities, all the things that come to the site. Then we go through all the engineering and architectural development of the building itself. And then we get in the field and we gather all kinds of information about the install and the actual products. And then we do all of the stuff that it takes to light up the building. And then we hand the operations, the operator, the keys to the building and go, here, operate it. But we don't give them any of the stuff that we gathered before. And that's all lost until someday we want to go back and recreate it. And we can really quickly start to see how blockchain technology, where we can gather that information, keep it, and it stays with the life of the building, right? That digital twin will have a copy of, here's what we did when we built this thing. And you can see real reality, day by day photos, look through a wall, know where all the utilities are. Yeah, it just makes the next level of operating that space so much smarter. And then truth is, as the building operates, the how it operates and things that happen to it, we can take that data and feed it back into the model again and go back and go, look, here's where our wins, here's our losses, here's some things that we did that we didn't realize that it doesn't have to die with the engineer who left.
No, 100%. I also, a little bit off topic on this, but I think that these sensors and the data collection, we're getting data everywhere now. We have so much data, right? People talk about data all the time. People talk about digital twins and pulling this all in together. And I think what, if I can get a little philosophical here, what's really impressive to me is that we're building community around the data, right? We're connecting the designer to the engineer, to the field layout technician, to the fabricator, to everybody, right? To the operator and the maintenance after we hand the keys off to that building, right? And you get all this history and you get the understanding of really what's going on there. And I think that is where we're going in the future, Absolutely. Right? Is that we're taking this data and we're finding ways to actually make smart decisions with it, right? So whether that is mixed reality and being able to visualize the data and get ahead and action that and, save costs of rework and save money in time and, be more sustainable by not wasting those materials and not wasting that time. Or it's taking that data, like you said, and taking a balance of the project and saying, well, we were good here or we were bad here. And what does that net out to? Okay, now how do we change that the next time we go build a project?
I got to tell you, you guys at Trimble are doing, you're breaking the industry standards. You guys are setting the pace for all of us. Folks are trying to keep up with what you're doing. Every time you leapfrog another technology, every time I get a call that some news happening over there, we're always excited about showing it off and being the place where you guys show it off. We just love having you Trimble folks over, and it's Nathan, it's been fun. I've loved talking about this, the philosophy of our business. And by the way, I want you on again. And it's not just product releases. You yourself and the stuff that you're working on it's awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's been a really fun conversation, and I love it. I'll come back anytime. We'll talk about anything. Happy to come back.
Audience members, if you guys love this as much as we love doing it, it's passion. Please do me a favor and like it, because look, we don't get paid other than the way if you like it and subscribe. That's all we really get here. Is there's no we don't get paid for this. It's just what keeps us moving forward and getting great companies like Trimble to come on board. And hey, by the way, if you love what you talked about, go look up Trimble right now and get the product, right? Really get into checking it out if you and your group are looking for something special. Nathan, if they want to get a hold of you guys over at Trimble and find out how to get this product or any of the great products you guys have, what's the best place for them to catch up with you?
Yeah, so you can definitely check out our website. That link will be in the description, I believe. Yeah. And we'll have a little button that says contact us. So you can just go and fill in your information and you'll be reached out to, and we can have a chat.
Awesome. And by the way, we'll have a link to this amazing video that'll show off the helmet in the link in the description down below. So all you guys that didn't get to see us yet, just hit that button. Trust me, you'll love. Take a second, go look at this. You're going to be as excited as I am about it. Just imagine the places that in our business this is going to take us, and it's phenomenal. So Nathan, again, all the folks over there at Trimble, thanks again. We're always happy to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us. My name is Anthony Amunategui, always looking for people to bring insight into the industry, finding ways to inspire people to have amazing careers in the development world. If you liked our podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. If you really liked our podcast, make sure you hit the little bell. Thanks again for listening. Please share it with your friends.